All right, I think we should address the elephant in the room, and that is there going to be a housing crash? Everybody's talking about, is it a bubble, is it not a bubble? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that up next, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into the Living in Palm Coast channel. I'm Bill Bishop and I'm a realtor here in Palm Coast, Florida. And this channel is really all about what it's like to live, work, play, and retire here in Palm Coast. We work with all kinds of people who are moving to Florida in general and really taking a look at Palm Coast, Florida. Now we're kind of a hidden gem here in Florida. We're located, just north of Daytona and just kind of south of St. Augustine. So if you're interested in checking out this area and you want to visit with us about what's going on here, just give us a call, send us a text, and all of our information is in the description box below. But with that said, I just wanted to get to our little topic today, and that is there going to be a housing crash really nationwide, or really everybody's kind of talking about, well, as interest rates go up, are our home values going to go down? Well, I don't think home values are going to keep going up at the rate they're going. I mean, just in Florida and just in this area here even, they were going up at 20% per year over the last few years. So that kind of appreciation is not going to happen. But I think I'm seeing some sort of equilibrium in the market right now. Just in my area, just in our Palm Coast and in this area here, I've seen that there's probably about 40% more in inventory that has come on the market just in the last 2 or 3 months. So basically that means that it's becoming less of a seller's market, more homes are on the market. So buyers are having a little bit better chance at getting the home they want, what they need. They're not really trying to outbid everybody, although the bidding and those types of things are happening as well. Now, what's happening with the housing market? Why does everybody think there might be a bubble? Well, I think that also interest rates are ticking up. Right now, we're in June of 2022, and interest rates are a little over 5%. Hovering around 5%, some a little lower, some a little higher, but that's kind of freaking people out. What's going to happen with interest rates? So is that going to cool off the housing market? Well, I think it might cool off the housing market just a little bit, but also a lot of buyers out there are cash buyers, so they're not really relying on the interest rate or the mortgage interest rate to finance their home. They're not really relying on a mortgage, or if they are, they're relying on maybe a smaller mortgage. So what they're doing is they're bringing their equity down, or moving their equity, I should say, from the home that they own somewhere else, and they're taking that equity and moving it down to Florida. Now, the good thing about Palm Coast and this area is that we're very affordable. So if you're looking for an ocean side kind of community, kind of reminds you a little bit of, I don't know if you are from California, but Hernando Beach area, where it's a lot of surfing and that kind of thing. Also, I wanted to speak a little bit too about interest rates. It's interesting because I'm old enough to know, I was just talking to my parents the other day, and when I was a junior, or between my junior and senior year in high school, we had moved. And when I moved, it was when our family moved, it was in around 1980. And interest rates at that time, a new mortgage was 16 to 17%. And when my parents moved us, we moved from a small town, got up to another town. And when they purchased their house, they got they said a 9.5% mortgage, and they were just thrilled with that. And that was just back in 1980, so that's 40 years ago. Interest rates, inflation, things are happening, and the Fed is going to raise interest rates. I think last thing I heard was that they're possibly going to raise interest rates over the next three months, maybe 50 basis points in each of the upcoming months. So that might put mortgage rates in the 6s or 7s. But is that going to affect the housing market? I'm sure it will. I'm sure it's going to slow the housing market down a bit. But what I have found that really comes down to supply and demand. Right now, I think there are still a ton of people moving to Florida. I think I saw 800 people. I don't even want to get that statistic wrong, but I know there was about 380,000 people who moved here last year in 2021. So whatever that works out to be. Anyway, there's a lot of people moving here to Florida, so that supply and demand there, we're still below what our usual inventory levels are for homes. So if you're a buyer and you're coming down, you want to look around, this is really a much better time than I've seen in the last maybe 6 months. Sellers are having to be more competitive. Housing prices are coming down a little bit. And if that's something you're interested in, just give us a call, shoot us a text, and we'd be happy to visit with you about, what this area is all about. It's really kind of a hidden gem. We've got the Intercoastal Waterway. We've got 19 miles of beaches. We've got tons of paths and parkways. So that's kind of the cool thing. So if you're exploring and you just happened upon one of our videos about Palm Coast, Florida, a lot of people don't even know we exist. We always think of Tampa, Miami, blah, blah, blah. But this community is growing. It's got that small town feel, so that's kind of the cool thing about this little area here. Now, one of the other things that was also affecting the supply of homes, and getting back to that supply and demand, was that there was a foreclosure moratorium, and that went up to like January of 2022. So what that basically meant is that people were living in their homes without having to make their mortgage payments. Now, a lot of people have made up on those mortgage payments, but there are going to be an influx of foreclosures coming on, just for the mere fact that this foreclosure moratorium is coming on. So that's going to add another batch of homes into the inventory. On the other hand, one of the things that buyers are competing with more and more these days that they really haven't in many years that I can remember, but that's the institutional buyers. So you have BlackRock and these big companies coming in, and they're purchasing homes sight unseen, and they're getting top dollar cash offers. And in some communities, that's a big problem. I haven't found it to be much of a problem here in Palm Coast. I hadn't had many of our buyers had to bid against like an institutional buyer, investor, but it's happening around. So there's those forces on each side that you got to kind of be aware of, I guess you don't have to be aware, but you got to know the trends, because if you're thinking about coming down here, you kind of want to get a feel for what the housing trends are doing here in Florida, and particularly where we work is in Palm Coast and Ormond Beach and St. Augustine. But if that's something that interests you, this is kind of a cool little area to check out. Next on my list was to talk about the other things that are affecting supply and demand for the housing market here, and that is the number one reason I think people are moving down here. Years ago, this was in 2006 and 7, 2008 is when the last big housing market bubble burst. And that bubble was basically built on irrational exuberance. People were buying homes in order to make a lot of money, and they were speculating on these homes. They were getting the loans that were being underwritten had no really any kind of credibility under them, so they were just giving out loans left and right. People were out investing, and that's predominantly how that market crashed. I don't see that the same way here in this market, and because I see that, first of all, there is a quality of life issue that I think has come about in even the last couple years, and that is people are deciding kind of where they want to live, where they want to be governed, how they want to be governed, how their state and local governments, their school boards are operating, and people are making these decisions to move from other parts of the country. And we get people from all over, California and Arizona and out east and everywhere. And they're coming in and they're saying, you know, we just really want that quality of life, that lifestyle. And really that kind of is really driving the demand here in Florida, is that that want or need from people who are nearing retirement, and they're looking at, okay, where do I want to live out, you know, the rest of my retirement and later on. And, you know, they're deciding on where to go. And Florida's becoming one of the destinations. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the where the market is right now. The market is getting more stable. It's becoming less of a seller's market, and there's becoming a little bit more equilibrium. So if you're interested in checking out, you know, this area, Palm Coast, you know, give us a call, shoot us a text, and don't forget to subscribe if you feel like you're getting any kind of information or value from our videos. We certainly appreciate that. And again, thanks for tuning in to the Living Palm Coast channel. I'm Bill Bishop, and until next time, bye-bye.